So before sitting down to celebrate Thanksgiving, you want to ensure that the food has been prepared properly.
Michelle Detloff is joining us now from the State Health Department. Thank you so much for being with us today, Michelle.
Thank you.
So Michelle, from carving, washing, just preparing food in general, what tips do you have for us and our viewers at home?
Well, there's some general rules. Like, first, you want to keep everything clean. You want to keep your hands clean. You want to keep your utensils clean, your cutting boards clean. You also want to make sure you're separating your food. So if you have raw meat, poultry, and you have some other food that's ready to eat, you want to make sure that you're keeping those separate and not having cross-contamination. So I'm talking about your cutting boards, your utensils, your plates. You don't want to take raw meat and cook it and then put it back on that plate that you have the raw meat on. You also want to make sure you're cooking things and preparing things appropriately and you're adhering to the correct internal cooking temperatures, especially when you're cooking things like a big turkey. And then also when you are done eating, you want to make sure that you are putting things away within 2 hours and you're chilling it appropriately, because you don't want things in that danger zone. That's 40 degrees to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when bacteria and viruses can multiply and potentially get people sick.
That's what I was going to say, is what are we talking about as far as the dangers of what can happen if you're not taking those precautions while cleaning and preparing?
So a number of things. So first of all, like if someone is sick themselves, don't prepare food for others, because that's how you can spread things. So that's a rule. I know it might be hard not to do. You're thinking you're washing your hands, but just don't do it. Also, when we talk about things like, handling meat, make sure you wash your hands in between handling, raw meat, and then you're going to like cut your vegetables or prepare your food, for example. Even making sure that you are thawing your turkey appropriately. Don't leave it on the counter. Don't put it in the garage or three-season patio. Even you think that, oh, it's cool enough out there, it could be in that danger zone. And so that is a risk. So appropriately to do it in the refrigerator or do it in a cold water bath. You can even do it in a microwave.
All right.
Okay.
Good tips.
What about brining the turkey? Look, here's the thing. It's supposed to be like 20 degrees outside. I plan on brining my turkey for 6 hours. I fully intend of just setting it on the deck right outside. Is that I gotta imagine she's looking at it like, I'm not going to his house
maybe you're
for
not going to
Thanksgiving, but it's cold enough, right? I mean, or should I just go with the actually controlled environment?
The safest thing is to do a controlled environment. There's sun temperature, the temperatures can fluctuate in a garage, even outside. So you're not certain that it's not within that danger zone. Even though there's a lot of salt and other things in that brine, make sure you put it in the refrigerator to make sure it's cool.
All right.
Now you mentioned the temperature, the magic number for when you are cooking the turkey, I believe 165 internal. You
Yes.
brought a couple of meat thermometers here.
I did.
Tell us about these.
So if you don't have a food thermometer, you need one, especially if you're going to be cooking things like a turkey. So there's different varieties. This is just a regular digital one. Here's the old-fashioned one that has like the dials. And some of them are kind of neat where they will have like what the internal temperature should be for different types of meats. You can always look it up online as well. And then I also have another one at home where it's digital. You can stick it in your meat in the grill or in the oven, and then it's Wi-Fi, and so you can keep it stuck in your meat while you're watching it cook and seeing what temperature it is. And so you do want to make sure that it's that right temperature. Poultry is going to be 165 degrees. And you don't just want to stick it in the breast and say, oh, it's good, it's done. You want to check different areas, internal, behind the wing and the thigh. And then if you do decide to stuff your bird, it's best to cook the stuffing outside of the bird. But if you choose to stuff your bird, make sure you're sticking that thermometer in the stuffing as well. That also has to reach 165 degrees.
See, I feel like we're all kind of learning something speaking with Michelle today. My husband, by the way, has one of those thermometers that you leave in there and then he gets alerted on his phone and he loves it. So definitely recommend that. Now you mentioned getting the leftovers refrigerated as quickly as possible within 2 hours. Talk to us about why that's important.
And that's getting back to the danger zone, because if it's out for longer than 2 hours, it's at warmer temperatures, that is just a great opportunity for bacteria to grow. And what else you want to do is you want to get it refrigerated, within 2 hours. And then also make sure that the containers and the dishes that you're using and putting your food in are shallow, smaller sizes. If you have a big container full of leftover mashed potatoes and you put it in the fridge, it's going to take a long time for that internal temperature to reach the appropriate cooling temperature, so it could be in that danger zone for a long period of time. So you have to think about that too when you are storing your leftovers, and then you also want to make sure you're eating them within about 3 to 4 days.
3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days?
There we go. Have those turkey sandwiches quickly,
Man,
Jeff.
we got to get after it.
Some great information. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you bet.
Michelle.
Thank you, guys.
And folks, for more information on avoiding foodborne illnesses, make sure you go to North Dakota Health and Human Services website. That is hhs.nd.gov. But keep